Today we're taking a look at two brand new ARRMA trucks, the new Fury and the new Vorteks. And today I want to find out if these trucks are really as good as people are saying. And loads of people are saying these are currently the best beginner entry into the hobby. And to find out if these claims are true, of course, I need to test these trucks myself, and I need to find out if they're really worth the money. First up, let's get both of these trucks out of their boxes. I want to see what these look like in real life. So here we go, both of these trucks out the box. I finally get a chance to see what they look like in real life. And the colour on the Fury, wow, does that thing look good. The colours on the Vorteks also look really cool. Now, as you can see here, I've gone for the versions which require a battery and charger. Although if you don't want to buy a battery and charger separately, you can also buy these as a complete ready to run, and with those versions you get a smart USB charger and of course a nickel metal hydride battery. My advice would be go for one of these and invest in a good quality charger and a much better 2S Lipo. Now of course we are going to take a much closer look at both of these trucks, but who are these trucks actually for? These basic models from ARRMA are of course for beginners getting into the hobby. If you're an RC enthusiast, I don't think these are going to tick enough boxes for you. That is unless you convert them to brushless. Now the good news is these trucks are brushless ready, and if you are an enthusiast and you do love your RC cars, you may already have some really high performance stuff. These could still be for you if you're willing to do a brushless conversion. And that's exactly what I did on the Gorgon, which of course is based on the same platform as these, but going brushless of course costs more money, so you may be better off going for a brushless ready to run. Which is why, again, I would say these trucks are only really for people who are just starting out in the RC hobby. Now, you may disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. So how much do these trucks cost? Well, this Fury actually costs £189 here in the UK. And again, like I said earlier, it doesn't come with a battery or charger. The Vorteks does cost slightly less. It comes in at £167, so both very reasonable when it comes to price. Definitely in the right sort of price range for a beginner getting into the hobby. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at the Vorteks and then we'll get back to the Fury. I think already the Fury is my favourite, but let's have a closer look at this. Now these tyres look a little bit different. I think these are new. I don't remember those being on the 3S Vorteks. I'm almost certain the rear tyres are the same as the 3S version. Again, body looks really cool. We have got some roof skids up on top and a black rear wing. Now you may be looking at this thinking, where are the body clips? Well, this actually features a new system called the Hidden Body Retention System. And no, I didn't make that up. That's exactly what it says on the box. Now there is a single clip that you pull out and the body should just slide off. Yeah, that seems to be quite a cool and simple system. So under the body, of course, everything is going to look really basic under here because this is a beginner-inspired RC truck. Now, as you would expect, this does have proper oil-filled shocks, which do feel really good, just as you would expect from an ARRMA vehicle. And checking out the rear shocks feel really nice as well. Now you may recognise the chassis setup because of course this is just like the Gorgon. Now it doesn't appear that we have any adjustability. There's no adjustable turnbuckles, which of course is to be expected. Again, this is a budget, beginner-friendly truck. We've also got the plastic drive shafts on the back. Now just like the Gorgon, the battery tray is underneath, so you don't even have to take the body off to get a battery in or back out of this thing. Now they do say this thing has a super tough transmission, which of course will handle a brushless system, and it does say brushless ready transmission on the box. Electronics wise, I think this is pretty much identical to the Gorgon. You have got that 550 14 turn brush motor, and of course the basic 40 amp 2-in-1 ESC and receiver. The servo on this is plastic geared and it's only 6 kilogram. Right, so moving on to the Fury, let's take a closer look under the body. Now this has a very similar mounting system to the Vorteks. The only difference is there's 2 clips on this one. Let's do the front one first and the back, and the body should just slip off. That's pretty simple. So under here, everything is pretty much exactly the same as the Vorteks. There isn't really anything else to add. Of course, this does have a different front and rear bumper. These appear to be new as well. You don't get those on the Vorteks or the Gorgon. Now, you may have noticed, but there is one major difference when it comes to the Fury over the Vorteks and the Gorgon. This does have a longer wheelbase, and you know what that means. It's going to be way more stable. Now, I've lined all 3 cars up, the Gorgon, the Vorteks and the Fury, and you can see how much longer the Fury really is. Now there's still so much to get through. We still need to see how fast both of these trucks go right out the box, and I am going to be testing both of the trucks with a 2S Lipo. But before we do any speed testing, I'm going to tell you how you can win both of these trucks. Now if you want to win one of these trucks, all you need to do is head over to Raffall after this video, grab a couple of tickets. You never know, you may just be lucky. And I know a lot of people are sick and tired of seeing these raffles, but they really are an excellent way to help support the channel. And you never know, you may even win a new RC car. I've actually done quite a few of these now, and I've had lots of happy winners. So first up, we're going to do a 2S speed test with the Fury. Now looking in the box, you get some really cool hex drivers. We've also got some shock preload spacers and accessories, a black and white manual, and of course some ARRMA branded AA batteries. You pretty much get exactly the same with the Vorteks. Transmitter wise, it's the basic SLT2, which does get the job done on these basic ARRMA vehicles. Of course, we've got a nice foam grip on the wheel, your usual steering dual rate and steering trim adjustment. On the back, you've got a speed switch. You can select 50%, 75% or 100%, and that's good if you want to turn the power down, although this being a brush setup, I don't think it's going to be the fastest thing out there. Steering servo performance out the box, yeah, it's not bad. Certainly not great. It's probably going to be one of the things that you upgrade quite early on. Right, let's start the GPS. Let's see what we can get. Now, I haven't even had to put the camera on a tripod. You know, these brush trucks aren't very fast. I can comfortably drive them with one hand. That's full throttle. Yeah, it's not very quick. I can't remember how fast the Gorgon went out the box. I think it was early 20s. They're not very quick. And again, this is a 2S Lipo, stock gearing, nothing's been changed, full throttle. You know, we have to remember these are beginner trucks. Beginners aren't going to be looking to go really quick. More speed is going to mean more crashes, which then means you are going to be repairing the truck more often. And that can get expensive. So I think ARRMA have found the sweet spot when it comes to speed for a beginner truck. You know, these aren't trucks which are aimed at enthusiasts or people who have been in the hobby for years, who have got high performance cars. You know, these are for people just starting out in the hobby. I can't stress that enough, because so many people will say, why are we still getting brush systems in 2024? You know, brush power systems should have been gone long ago. And I do agree with that, although they do have their place for the beginners. Right, let's see what we got. Stock 2S battery. What are we going to get? So let's hit read. 22 miles per hour right out the box. Right, next up the Vorteks. Let's start the GPS. Again, no tripods required. All one-handed driving. It's just not fast enough. Are we going to see more than 22? Are we going to see 22, exactly the same as the Fury? This does feel like it handles slightly differently. Of course, this does have the shorter wheelbase compared to the Fury, which is quite a bit longer. That's full throttle. I think we're going to see exactly the same speed. Yeah, brush power systems in 2024, they are a little bit underwhelming, but I do understand why some companies still use brush power systems. They are generally a little bit safer and easier to use for beginners. Right, let's bring it back. Let's see what we got. Are we going to see 22, the same as the Fury? Right, let's stop and read. 22, exactly the same as the Fury. So both trucks achieved 22 miles per hour straight out the box using a 2S Lipo. Next up, we need to see how both of these trucks perform off-road. Let's head over to my favourite bashing location and give both of these trucks a test. So you've just seen the off-road footage. Now I am going to tell you how both of these trucks performed off-road, but first I just want to talk about whether or not these trucks are actually worth it. And yes, if you're wondering why they're not dirty because I've just tested them off-road, well, I've actually recorded this section of video before I've even headed over there. That's the power of editing, and I didn't want to wait any longer before showing you the footage because I know videos like this can get boring when there's a lot of talking. Now what I really want to talk about is, are these trucks actually worth the money? Now of course I'm in the UK and prices here aren't always the best. The availability of the trucks themselves are also pretty hard to come by, but I think the biggest issue for us in the UK is how much the parts actually cost. And this is something we've spoken about before with the Gorgon. I mean, a slipper clutch set for one of these is around £40, £45, and for a budget truck, I think that's an incredibly huge amount of money. I think a differential for one of these is close to £40 as well, maybe even more now, and it does make you wonder, are these actually a good option? I think body sets for these are around £60 as well. And when you see how much these trucks actually cost, would you really spend £60 on a body for this when the truck itself is £160? And what people have done in the past with the Gorgon is just buy complete trucks just to use for parts, which then means there's even less of these things available. I don't think availability and parts is a massive problem for people in the US. Of course, Horizon are going to look after the US compared to the UK because clearly we're such a small island, and I don't think Horizon cares about us too much. Okay, maybe that's not the case, but I do feel like we are punished a little bit in the UK when it comes to pricing and availability. And when you look at the availability and pricing problem, is there any really good alternatives out there? Well, actually, yes, there is, and brand snobs aren't going to like it. Of course, I'm talking about the new MJX Hypergo 10208. You can currently pick them up for around £200 over at Serious RC, and you're talking about a 1/10 scale 3S to 4S ready truck, which is also more than twice as fast as both of these trucks in front of me. But of course, it's not an ARRMA, is it? Now it does start to get hard to justify these trucks, especially if you are looking to make them brushless straight away. The price is quickly going to start to escalate. If you're a beginner just starting out and you think you may want something a little bit quicker, I think the MJX might be a better option. It's going to be just as durable as these. Serious RC stock all of the parts, and again it is way quicker. But look, if you like ARRMA as a brand and you still want relatively good parts availability, although I do think they are overpriced, yeah, these trucks are going to be a good option. They're also going to be a good option for someone who wants to learn how to upgrade their truck, who wants to learn how to get more performance from them, and you don't necessarily want everything done for you straight out the box. These are definitely going to be good for you. But of course, all of this does cost money, and then you need to start considering the 3S range. I think if you're a beginner just starting out and you really don't know where to begin, these trucks are going to be a good option. They're probably also going to be a safer option compared to that MJX. Because they are a little bit slower, you're probably less likely to break anything, but if you do, just be prepared for high prices. So there we go then, I've just completed the off-road test. How did these trucks perform? Well, the Fury turned out to be a lot more stable because of the longer wheelbase. On this loose surface, with its shorter wheelbase, I did find the Vorteks harder to control. Power-wise, well, I pretty much had the throttle trigger all the way down the entire time. You really do crave that little bit of extra power with these trucks. I mean, for me, I am used to running 4S and 6S vehicles, so maybe that's why I feel the need for power so much. For a beginner just starting out, I think it would probably be more than acceptable. So 2 brand new cool cars to add to the ARRMA lineup. Which one of these would you buy? I think I'd go for the Fury. Not only does it look cool, but it also handles a little bit better too. I think brushless, both of these trucks would be a little bit more fun, but of course that will increase price, and once again, is it really worth it? So we're going to leave it there today. I have covered a lot in this video. If I have missed anything, feel free to drop a comment down below and let me know. But apart from that, we're going to leave it there. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one. Take care. Now, if you're not a massive fan of these trucks, but you want to check out 2 really cool alternatives, click one of these videos now.